Hello guys, welcome to today's video where I'm going to share with you the must-haves that have got us through the newborn stage. You put your head back in there. So Cecily is 12 weeks today, so she's not a newborn anymore. So I thought I'd share with you what we've used to get us through the last almost 3 months. Can you please put your head back in? Don't want it popping about everywhere. Why are you acting like you're starving? You've just been fed. So obviously you need things like nappies, wipes, nappy sacks. We use Sainsbury's ones. We use the Sainsbury's nappies. They're the ones that we found have been best. We use them with Isabel. We tried all of the other ones. We've stuck with Sainsbury's. We use the Aldi version of water wipes, so the Mamia, I think they're called, because they're quite a bit cheaper than water wipes and we get through quite a lot. If you're planning on formula feeding or combi feeding or pumping, you're going to need bottles, formula. I would recommend man bottles. We used those with Isabel for like 10 weeks when I was pumping exclusively. With this one, she had bottles for a couple of weeks because she was on a feeding plan, but they just came from the hospital. We haven't bought any this time, but if we do need to buy any, I will buy man bottles again because they're self-sterilising. You don't need to have a massive steriliser on the side. They just go in the microwave. They are great. So I thought I'd go, now we've got like the obvious ones out of the way, I thought I'd go through like the stuff that we are using. And I'm going to start with this baby wrap, carrier, sling, whatever you want to call it. Like most babies, she doesn't want to be put down. As soon as I put her down, she's shouting and angry. She won't sleep anywhere else at the moment during the day other than on one of us. And obviously we could just hold her and do contact naps like that, but it's so awkward, literally can't get anything done. She's getting really heavy now, and I found that I can do stuff with this. A little bit awkward to figure out to start with, but once you know what you're doing, it's great. And when she's just staring out the window at the moment, when she's actually asleep, her head tucks in there and she's just all nice and comfortable and goes to sleep. And she's acting like I'm not feeding her when she has literally just had a feed. But yeah, this is the Cuddle Bug wrap. I bought this one because I googled like easy to use slings and this one came up. I'm not going to lie and say it is easy to figure out to start with. I had no idea what was going on, and I'd really recommend you try it like if you're having a day while you're pregnant, when you're feeling good, rather than when the baby's actually here, because it does take a while to figure out, but once you figured it out, it's easy. I'll link all of these down in the description so you can find them. Next on the list, I have got a Next to Me. That's there in the background. We had one with Isabel. She used it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months and then just refused to sleep in there. So last time we had the Chico Dream, is that what it's called? Which was, you know, fantastic. I loved it. We've gone for a cheaper one this time, just simply because if she's only going to be in it for 3 months, I didn't want to be spending like £190 or whatever it was on a bed just to be used for a couple of months. That one is the Baby Snuggle Sleeper, Co-Sleeper or something like that. As I said, I'll link them in the description because baby brain, I can't remember anything at the moment. Even this morning, she had a feed at 5 and then at 6 o'clock she was stirring again. I was like, I know you can't be hungry because you've just done both boobs. So I was just patting her while she was in that next to me, and she went back to sleep. I fell asleep just with my hand resting on her chest. So for that, they are like worth their weight in gold. But as I said, I'm not spending £190 just for it to be used for 3 months. With that as well, definitely get a mattress protector. This one is very, very sicky. She's got really bad reflux. If we didn't have a mattress protector, I think the mattress would just be ruined by now. With that as well, I would recommend getting a mattress protector for your bed too. So obviously night feeds we do in the bed because we just lift her out of there. We do also do a lot of like daytime feeds in there because this room is more finished than our living room, and it looks nicer to sit in and stuff. So, and as she is sicky, we get a lot of sick on the bed and everything, and we've had a couple of blowouts as well. This mattress isn't particularly old. I'd rather not get it ruined, so mattress protector for your bed, pillow protectors as well, because again, if you've got a sicky one, it gets everywhere. Still not asleep, but she's just like perfectly content in there. The next thing is a real like either love it or hate it. So many people say that you don't need one, but for me, I think you do, and that's a changing table. With Isabel, we used changing table up until I think she was like 2.5 maybe, because it was literally the only place where she would lay still to get her nappy changed and get her dressed on it. It's like the perfect height to do everything. If you've had a C-section or a rough birth, or you're just feeling rough anyway, it's just so easy to do it on there. Yeah, anyone that says that they don't use a changing table, where do you change your baby? Because to start with, I changed her in here on a mat at night time, but leaning forwards, like when you've had a C-section or anything really, it's not the most comfortable thing. So how do you do it? And I'm too old to be kneeling on the floor doing it. Obviously with that as well, get yourself a changing pad. I've seen some really nice ones, some really expensive ones. We've gone with a cheap one. I've had to do everything on a budget this year, obviously with the fire and stuff. A lot of this stuff is stuff that we would have used with Isabel, but we've had to replace it, and we've gone for slightly more budget stuff, just because we've learned that just because it's more expensive doesn't mean she's going to stay in it for any longer. Next thing I've got on the list, and I didn't have this with Isabel, is the bedside cart, because it's got everything in it and I can move it around. As I said, to start with, in the first sort of, I don't know, 6-8 weeks, she was up 3-4 times a night, needing a feed. I needed muslins, I needed clean outfits, she had to have nappy changes. I'm not going to brag because I know that this can change, but this one is currently sleeping until 5 AM. So she's having a big old feed between 6 and 7. John puts her in this for an hour or two, then he changes her nappy and puts her to bed, and she doesn't wake up until 5. Now I know that's not going to stay like that forever, but for now I'm taking it. So the cart isn't getting a huge amount of use at the moment, but in the first few weeks it was ideal, like just to have everything there next to me. And that is something that we can reuse, like it can be for their craft stuff or something once I've finished using it. Next on the list I've got cellular blankets. So there's so much out there about like baby suffocation and stuff, and it freaked me out the first time, still freaks me out now. Cellular blankets are obviously the ones with the holes in them. When she was first born, she was actually big enough to be able to fit into sleeping bags, but we still used blankets to start with. And then she lost a lot of weight, so she was under the 8-ounce limit, I think it is, for them. So we use cellular blankets then, and for daytime naps, on the rare occasion that she has a daytime nap that isn't in here, then we use the cellular blankets as well. I think she's going to sleep. I think she's going to sleep. And then sleeping bags. So she was very big when she was born. She was 9 pounds, wasn't expecting that. Sleeping bags, a lot of them start from £8, 8 ounces, and they are ideal. There's no fear of them going over her face. She can't kick it off. They're just great. They're not cheap. We've got 3 of them, and we could probably do with a couple more, just simply because she's sick so often. Definitely fast asleep. Completely lost what I was saying. Oh, I don't know. The next thing I've got on the list is muslins. So as I've said, she's got quite bad reflux. She's sick all the time, so wherever Cecily is, there are muslins. These are like the 100% cotton ones. So you get some that's quite scratchy that I don't like, but these ones 100% cotton. We have got 18 of these, and I did do a video not long ago about how much of everything I feel like you need. I don't really think I'm going to talk about that too much. I don't want to repeat myself in this one, so I'll link that other video down below so that you can see how much of everything that we've got based on the first baby. The second one has been a lot more sicky, and I'd say if you could have like 30 muslins, then that's going to be ideal, because you know, you get sicked on a bit and that's it. It's done. It needs to go in the wash. The next thing I've got is a night light. Oh dear, a night light. So I've got a portable one that's rechargeable. It has different levels of light and different colours as well, because I hate sleeping with a light on, but I need the light to be able to see her, because obviously when you wake up in the night, the first thing you do is just check them. This one, I just have it on the low light and then on like a kind of an orangey colour, just so that it's not too, what's the word I'm looking for? Invasive? I don't know. I can't remember the last time. When does baby brain like go away? When am I going to be normal, remember what words are again? So the next one I've got, and I don't know whether this is an essential, you need a safe place to put the baby downstairs. Like if they sleep on their own, then you obviously need a place for them to sleep. We got a Moses basket. We didn't get one last time, so I didn't think we needed one. I've got one this time because we live in a building site. I've got a 4-year-old. I wanted somewhere that I could put Cecily down safely, so we got her a Moses basket. To start with, it was absolutely fine. She slept in it and up here because she hated that for the first couple of nights, and she would sleep in it downstairs. Now she just won't sleep anywhere apart from here. So I feel like you should be able to hire them. I feel like you should be able to hire a Moses basket and use it for like 4 weeks, and then somebody else gets to hire it, because although it was ideal for putting her in when she was tiny, and I'm talking like 2 weeks old, as from about 5 or 6 weeks, she just hated it, and put her in there and she shouts. We just call her the abandoned baby. It is a newborn essential for a couple of weeks. I just wish that there was a way that you could get them cheaper. Next, I've got playmat and toys, and it seems a bit weird for a newborn, but Isabel, a 4-year-old, will play with her while she's on her playmat and like show her the little black and white toys that we've got for her. Obviously she doesn't really, I mean she does now, but to start with she didn't get too involved in it, but it's nice for them to start playing and everything. It was somewhere that we could put her down and Isabel could get involved, and because it's got stuff like the bits over the top of it, I wasn't worried about her tripping over and falling on her. Oh, are you okay? It came with like a little tiny tummy time pillow, which obviously as a baby she hates. But I definitely think that if you've got older children, it's really, really good to have something that they can do with the baby other than getting involved in the nappy changing and bath and stuff. Just something fun that they can do together. Next one might be quite obvious, but an infant carrier car seat. The one we've got, we went for the Avianaut Cosmo, because I think it's one of like the recommended ones, although all infant carriers are like tested to the same standard. This one is like one of the best ones for positioning and stuff. I know that the one that we had with Isabel, before I knew much about car seats, she was very chin to chest, and that's a concern for suffocation. Because let me tell you, these babies do not have any form of survival instinct whatsoever. This one's finding something really funny in her sleep. Infant carrier, we went for one with an Isofix base. That was John's choice. He didn't want to try and figure out how to use a seatbelt. I think the seatbelts are quite easy in some of them. This Isofix base, they've changed so much in the last 4 years, because I struggled with Isabel's one. This one you just literally clip it on and just clip it back out again. It's not difficult. It's lightweight as well, so after having a C-section I could actually carry it. I think at about 3 weeks as I was okay carrying it. And this is quite a budget one as well. We paid £139 for it, and then the extra for the base, I don't know how much the base is, but again I'll link all of this down in the description. Okay, next one could be a bit controversial, is a bouncer. So the one that we've got it's by Red Kite, and it says it's 0 to 3 months, but we didn't start using it until it was only like a week or 2 weeks ago, because she doesn't want to be put down anywhere when she's flat and she can't see what's going on. We've got her the bouncer so that she can sit in that and look at us. She comes into the bathroom with me when I'm having a shower. I put her in there when I'm cooking my dinner, because if I put her in the Moses basket she just shouts. She doesn't cry much, she just shouts angrily. And I know that I think some bouncers you're not supposed to put them in until they're 3 months old. So we kind of weighed this up with her being 10 weeks old. Again, she's still a newborn at that stage, and put her in that. And that means that I can have a shower without getting shouted at, and I can cook some dinner without getting shouted at, because I'm not comfortable cooking with her here. And I'm just too worried that I'm going to spill something on her, or some hot water or splashback or something. This one plays music, it bounces, it vibrates, it's great. It was a bit fiddly to put together. I don't know why they do that to us when we've just had a baby. It took me ages to figure out what I was doing with that. But now I can put my almost 3-month-old down and actually get on with some stuff. Only for about 10 minutes though, and then it's all over. Next thing I've got on the list is not a newborn must-have, but it is a newborn must-have, and that is a tumble dryer. I don't know how I would have survived over the last couple of months without a tumble dryer. She was born in November, it's been winter, all it's done is rain. She's sick, she's full of snot because we've got a 4-year-old and 4-year-olds are full of snot. Isabel's been sick. If I hadn't have had a tumble dryer, I do not think I would have coped in the last couple of months. We got a heat pump one, so they're cheaper, more eco-friendly, more gentle on clothes and stuff. And I think they cost a little bit more than a normal one, but it has been the best idea because we have the room to hang clothes up inside, but it's a building site, so everything will get covered in dust. I'd need about 15 clothes horses to do it. Next couple of bits are for me. They weren't just necessarily for Cecily. A breast pump. I'd planned on just breastfeeding, no pumping, no formula, nothing like that, but she had a really bad tongue tie, lost 14% of her birth weight, so I had to pump because I had to top her up on feeds for a couple of weeks. We're out of that now. She hates bottles again. I don't understand how you can go from having a bottle to refusing to have a bottle, but John used to give her a feed at about 9 o'clock so that she could sleep a bit longer, and she just started refusing that. But a pump, I'm really sorry, I just keep going off on like a tangent. It's because my brain doesn't work properly. I got a hands-free pump. It's NCVI, I believe it's called, and it's really, really good. Again, it was a budget one. I didn't want to spend like £200 on one of the more expensive ones because I wasn't planning on doing it forever. This one's been really good. I cannot fault it. I didn't ever feel like I could do much with them on. Like, I'm not going to say like you get a hands-free pump and you can go off and do everything, because you can't bend down or anything with it in. It's much better than the one I had last time, which was just a single one that I had to hold on one boob and then on the other. So if you are going to get a pump, I definitely recommend going for a hands-free one, because at least then you can just sit there and like scroll through your phone, or you know, I think I did my eyelashes or something once while I had it on. Game changer compared to last time. And with that as well, boob pads. Even if you're not planning on breastfeeding, they'll probably leak quite a bit. I've got quite a bit of an oversupply, and I do get random letdowns. I do leak quite a bit, and because she's gone from like 4 feeds a night to 1, it's taken a while for my supply to adjust as well, so I do keep waking up drowning in my own boob milk. I find reusable ones better, but I also have some disposable ones. One's because they're less obvious when you've got them in your bra, and 2 because I can't, you know, if I haven't kept up on the washing, then I might not have some clean ones. I think I've got like 5 pairs of reusable ones, but I think you need them even if you're not planning on breastfeeding. But if anybody wants to comment, like, let us know, do you actually leak? If you're not planning on breastfeeding and you don't breastfeed, do you leak? I don't know, I assume that you do, but please let me know, because I might just be talking absolute crap. So next I've got a baby care kit. So in this one we've got a thermometer, nail clippers, hairbrush, all just sort of stuff that you might need. You've got one of those snot sucker things. I've never used that on either of the babies. I can't imagine sticking that up their nose and trying to get anything out. I know that some people say that you should get one of those electric files for their nails, but the thought of that is scarier than clipping their nails. When you are clipping their nails, it's best off doing it while they're asleep, because they don't like it. And then with that, you're going to need some sort of bath. So we have got just like a baby bath. Again, we had similar with Isabel. When we had Isabel, we used to put it onto her changing table and bath her up there, but because the room where the changing table is like completely unfinished, John's been doing it in the bath because I couldn't bend down there after the C-section. So I think I'm just going to suggest getting some sort of like the angel care one, so that Cecily can get in the bath with Isabel, and just, obviously not just going to leave them in there, but it's going to be easier than holding her in one of those big baby baths. And I will link below like the list that I put together for newborn must-haves, which is available in the shop. I have said that I'm going to do a spreadsheet version as well, and I will do a spreadsheet version, like a Google Sheets one. It's just finding the time to get anything done, because the next one I've got is outfits with mitts and feet in them. So built-in feet and mitts. There's a little tiny hand there. Because mitts and socks don't stay on, I really don't see the point of them. Cecily's probably only worn like 3 actual outfits. The rest of the time she's in baby grows, sleep suits, because it's so much easier. Like, hands can be covered up easily because they come back, feet are covered up, don't need to worry about losing socks. And another thing as well, a lot of people say that zip-through sleep suits are better than popper ones. During the day, I would probably agree with that, but at night time, when you've got a sleeping bag on and you unslip the sleeping bag from the bottom to check the nappy, you don't want to have to unzip the sleeping bag all the way to then find the top of the zip to pull it down. With a popper you can just undo one or two and check. So for me, popper ones are just as important as zip ones because you need the popper ones at night time. And next I've got a travel system. So we thought that our travel system survived the fire, and then we brought Cecily home, went to use it, and it was unusable. So we had to go out and get an emergency one, and I cannot remember what this one is called, so I'll have to ask John and put the details down below. We went out and got an emergency one, and again, budget. We hadn't budgeted for one, so we had to get a, you know, not a cheapy one, but not, you know, we weren't going to get a Silver Cross one. This one is better than the Eagle Bubble one that we had last time. It was easy to put together, it's easy to put up and down. It's a carry cot that then converts to a parent facing stroller and then an outside facing stroller. I don't know what else there is. I don't know if people just buy like prams and then buy separate stuff, but this, you know, so far I really can't fault this. Phone's ringing. Okay, next on the list, I'm assuming that I finished talking about the travel system, but next on the list is a changing bag and a portable changing mat. So the changing bag that I've got was actually her hospital bag. I've reused it because, again, budget. You need something decent size because you have to take so much crap out with you, and I think when you're bottle feeding it's even worse. So a changing bag is obviously a must-have, and a portable changing mat because one, it's gross, they're all gross, you don't know who's been on it, who's touched it, and two, they're cold, changing tables in public places. So definitely need a portable changing mat. I have completely lost what's going on now just from a phone call, and annoyingly I was almost finished as well. I've only got one more thing to talk about. The last thing on the list is a huge water bottle and plenty of snacks because most babies want to contact nap. I've spent far too much time sitting around holding this one. Obviously with this on I can actually get up and move around, but sometimes she just falls asleep without this on, so then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just sit here and chill out. So huge water bottle, snacks, because you're going to get nap trapped. But there we go guys, that is everything I've got on my list. I'm not going to say that that is everything because I've probably forgotten loads of stuff because my brain just doesn't work. But there we go guys, thank you for watching, bye!